Hey everybody, welcome back to Mad Horse Barbecue. My name is Brian, and in today's video, we're going to do a restoration on this 22-inch Double D Weber kettle. Now, 22-inch, or the Double D means it was manufactured in the year 2000. This is the plum color, which there's not a whole lot of plum kettles out there, and believe it or not, just to give you a little bit of back history, on this particular kettle, I moved to the town I'm in for about a year and a half ago, I think. And we were out driving just throughout town one day, and I seen this behind the guy's garage, and I'm like, "Holy crap! That's a plum kettle. That's pretty dang cool." And I walk, when we go on walks, and I walk past it all the time. Relatively nice house. Never seen the guy, and I was out for a walk the other day and got talking with the guy and made him an offer, and he let me buy it. So I picked this up for $40. Take you in here. You can see it is the plum color. This is all original stuff on here. You can see the old one's got just a pan on there. The vent does work, or it did work. Need some work on that. Vent does work just like that. Got the nice, lid catch on it right there. The ash sweep also does work, which I was surprised because when I first opened this thing up, I didn't think the ash sweep was going to work, but it actually works pretty darn good. So what I'm going to go ahead and do in this video is I'm just going to restore this to the point to where I'm going to use it again. So it's not going to be a complete, balls to the wall restoration, but I am going to take it, I am going to scrape out the inside of this, even though it doesn't look like you used it all that much. And I'm also going to scrape out the inside of this lid, and then I'm going to wash the outside and kind of just show you how I restore an old Weber kettle, or I just pretty much follow the same cleaning process too when I'm cleaning out my kettles. So if this is something that interests you, this is just going to be a quick little how-to tutorial on how to restore / clean your Weber kettle. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take the handles off, and what you're going to need to do that is just a Phillips head screwdriver. All right, now since the handles are off, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to just kind of sort of take this pretty much all the way apart. I think I'm going to leave the ash sweep intact and in there just because the inside of this bowl really doesn't look all that bad. So let's go ahead and just disassemble this just a little bit. I'm going to start with the lid. And once the lid's off, I'm going to take the ash pan out. I think I can. Just like so. This might be, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep everything here. So the only thing I'm going to have to replace is the grill grates, because the grill grates were a little bit unsalvageable. Just because I don't think he used it a whole lot, but I think he might have had some, I don't know why, but it sure seemed like he was planting flowers in there at one point, but the grates were just gross to the point to where I just didn't feel like cleaning them and then getting them nice and hot. I just, I'll buy new grates, but probably save this ash pan. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take off the leg assembly. And the way to do this is the older kettles, they got like little push pins in there, the newer kettles have like little push pins, so they kind of lock in, so you got to kind of press in a button and pull it out. These, you just should be able to wiggle it a little bit, and it should come out. Just like that. And then just like that. So we got the leg assembly out. See that the bottom of the leg is missing that little rubber bumper. I'll probably get something to put on that. I don't know. I might just put some electrical tape around it, but we'll see. Like I said, this isn't going to be a restoration to, not ever use this, because I'm going to use this thing again. So once I got this thing out, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to leave this intact. So I'm going to leave the ash sweep in. And then the first thing, we're going to work on scraping out the inside of this bowl. And really, I restored a 95 Weber kettle, a little bit ago, and really the easiest way I found to do it is, you can use a razor blade. You can get a scraper, which I use kind of a combination of like this flat edge, flexible putty knife scraper. I think the plastic ones don't work, but if you buy the flexible metal ones or aluminum ones, or whatever you want to call it, they work pretty good. What I think really works good is my dad bought me this years ago. This is just a Milwaukee bottle opener, and you can see it's got a nice little contour on there, and I think that actually works really good for scraping out the inside of this kettle. So I'm just going to work at this. I'm going to stop when I feel it's time to stop, just because I don't, like I said, just based on the last one I restored, they cooked they just used the absolute crap out of it, and I was able to get it. But I bet you I spent 2 hours on this part at least, and 2 hours on the inside of the lid just scraping it off. And this one I can already see it's already getting pretty close to back down to that porcelain enamel. So let's just go ahead and scrape away. Alright, and I think I'm actually going to call this good to go. So I'm going to move this to the side. We're going to grab the lid. We're essentially going to do the same exact dang thing. So you can kind of see that there's already some shiny spots on this lid. And I know the lid shouldn't be that hard because I can just take my finger and I can work my, my finger right through it. So again, I'm going to just use this. You can see how easy that's coming off. So just going to go ahead and do a little scraping. And to be honest with you, I think a razor blade would work really good right now. But I can't find my razor blades. So, and this doesn't quite... Yeah. Well, maybe we'll use this scraper, because this scraper, like I said, get the, the flexible putty knife ones too, and if you can give them just a little bit of a bend, which that doesn't do anything, but if you could, it worked pretty good, so. Okay, and I think that's actually going to be about good. Actually, one thing I'm going to do is scrape the inside lip of this as well. Besides that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get the hose set up, and I'm actually going to spray out the insides of the kettles, and then I'm going to actually use a degreaser and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to use some heavy-duty, these Brillo pads right here, and these are, pretty dang good on the inside and the outside. So let me get the hose set up, and we'll pick back up. All right, we are back. First things I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take some of this oven, grill, and fryer cleaner, and I'm just going to coat the entire inside of both of these parts of the grill. I'm going to use the same stuff for the outside. This is some really good stuff. I will leave the link to this stuff in the description. I believe I got it off Amazon, but Members Mark brand is Sam's Club, essentially. But this is some really good stuff. You just got to be careful if you're going to use this kind of stuff to clean a grill that you have painted surfaces on. This will take paint off, but luckily Weber kettles aren't painted. It's a, it's a porcelain enamel coating. So we're just going to go ahead and spray the entire inside of these out and let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. You're saying to yourself, why would I use this on a, on a surface to where, food's going to be on the inside? Well, for one, I'm going to be scrubbing the absolute crap out of this. And for two, before I cook any food, when I'm all done with all the cleaning I'm going to do, I'm actually going to burn about a chimney of charcoal in here, just vents wide open to burn all this stuff off. So I've done it before. Haven't gotten myself sick or others sick. So again, you don't want to do it this way. You can find some all-natural cleaner. That's fine. But this stuff works really good. So go ahead and let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. You can already see on the bowl itself there, it's already, taking some stuff off. You can see that color it's got. So let this sit for a bit and we'll pick back up. All right, we're back. It's been about 10, 11 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start scrubbing out the insides of these. So I'm going to start with the bowl. So let me get resituated here and I'll show you how I do that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take one of these Brillo pads here. You can kind of see that more wool, more soap, 2 times tougher. Maybe Brillo pad will spot me. No, not really. But you can kind of see just that there's like these little steel wool pads, and they're kind of impregnated with some soap. So what I'm going to do is I got a 5-gallon pail of water right here. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in the water first. Kind of loosen it up, and then I'm just going to take it, and I'm just going to go ahead and scrub out the inside of this. I only got 4 of these left. So I'm going to use 1 for each of the insides, and then 1 for each of the outsides, because math. So that's how that works. So I'll try not to block you here, but no promises. Now since the bowl's done, I'm just going to go ahead and take it and spray it out with a hose. Remember what the inside looked like, but that's pretty much right back down to that nice looking Weber kettle, porcelain enameled coating. Okay. Pour that out, move this off into the sun and let it dry. And then we're going to get working on the lid. Same process. Honestly, I'm just going to use the same pad that I was using before because there's plenty left on this. So go ahead and start scraping this thing out. And I don't know if you can tell, but don't be afraid of putting a lot of elbow grease into this. I mean, even when, even if you're gonna use a razor blade or use something like this this thing's hard. Like this thing, it could probably chip paint off of a painted surface. That doesn't make, that makes sense. But this porcelain enamel coated on here is super, super, super tough. So don't be afraid just to put some elbow grease into her. And this I might actually spray out and then come back on it quick. And then do this again. So actually, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to spray this out. But I'm going to sort of go ahead and take one of the other newer pads here, get it wet. I'm going to just kind of see if I can get this a little better. Now, is any of this necessary? No, but this kettle is 21 years old-ish, I will say, and I've never cooked on it, and I know what these look like new, so it's kind of cool just to see how much cleaning you can do on this and see how, mint you can make it looking again. So it's all up to you. You could literally throw a hot bed of coals in here, let it burn, and you'd probably be good to cook. So. Okay, I'm going to call it good. So we'll go ahead and spray this out again. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and let this dry by the other one. And then we'll get to refinishing or seeing if we can polish up some of the other parts. Got this, the ash pan, on the older kettles, they don't have the, the nice canister you can take off and dump. It's literally just an ash pan. So this is obviously too, it's got some worse from wear. It's just a piece of aluminum. This would be really easy just to replace, but I'm gonna see what I can do with it. And I'm just, it's just an ash pan. And again, I'm gonna use this as a cooker, so I'm not looking to have this thing look perfect. So it's got some more of this. I did spray some degrease around there. Didn't really do anything, but we'll take this. We'll see if we can get it cleaned up just a little bit. All right, let's just give a little orbital sander a try here. It's a little wet still, so it's probably going to clog the pad up really quick. But luckily for me, I got like 200 of these pads. This is just a 120 grit. We're going to see if it works. As you can see, I think it's actually going to work on there. So I'm going to work on this for a little bit, and I don't know, just see how shiny I can get it. Or I'm just going to quit when I get bored, because this right here is already functional as an ash pan. So we're just going above and beyond at this point. We'll call it the old Tom Horseman 1-2 is what we'll call that. So let me work at this for a little bit and I'll pick back up. All right, we're back. Obviously, I got bored with this, so this is about as good as I'm going to get it. So I ended up just taking some sandpaper, bending it in half, and just sanding it for a little bit, spraying it, sanding it, spraying it. And then I used some of this Dawn Platinum Power Wash. Let it sit on there for about 5 minutes, scraped it again. But this is good enough. So let's get to cleaning the legs. I did give these a coat of that Dawn Power Wash as well. So what I'm going to do with these, just use some of this Brillo pad and kind of just clean it a little bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take it over here and we're going to spray it down, put it in the sun, and let it dry. Alright, next step, I'm going to be taking the two halves of the kettle again. This really isn't that bad, so I don't really see a need for it, but what I am actually going to do it. I'm just going to go ahead and take some more of the oven grill fryer cleaner and give the outside of these a coat. And I'm going to let these sit for about 10 minutes and pick back up. Alright, it's been sitting for about probably about 10 minutes. I got to talking with the neighbors, so same goal here, or same thing. We're going to use this Brillo pad and just go ahead and start working it a little bit. The roughest part I saw was this lid vent, and I could pull a Tom Horseman and take it off, but I'm not that way. So go ahead and clean this up, see what we can do. Alright, that will be about good. Go ahead and spray this off. I'm going to put this in the sun and let it dry. And we're going to work on the bowl. Same process. Okay, and again, go ahead and spray this out. And I'm going to let it sit in the sun and dry. Alright, we are back. These have all been drying. We're pretty much done with all the harsh chemical cleaner, one could say. So now, this next step I do is just because I have really hard water here and I don't like seeing the streaks. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just take some all-purpose citrus cleaner here and just spray the inside of the bowl out lightly. Just wipe it down. And again, this part is optional just because I'm going to be burning this out. But I just want to get rid of the streaks just because I might be OCD. So I'm also going to do this to the outside of the bowl. Okay, move on to the lid. Again, same process here. Go one step further too. I'm going to use some of this Windex Streakless Free Shine to try to get the streaks out. The lid is ready, I think, for the polish, but I'm going to do that step last. So the next thing we're going to do, the next product I'm going to use on it, I'm going to give it a good polish, is if you watch my dad's videos, you know he likes this this gel gloss multi-surface polish and protector. Buy this right at, I think the most popular spot I see this is at Menards, and this does do a really good job at giving this thing a nice shine. So let's go ahead, spray it. I'm going to take my rag and lightly just kind of wipe it. Well, this stuff's kind of a wax, so you lightly wipe it and you let it harden. Then you take a microfiber rag is what works the best to it. And then just give it some elbow grease and give it a nice shine after it dries up. Okay, we'll let this sit for about 5 minutes and we'll pick back up. Alright, this thing's had a chance to kind of fog over and harden up, so I just got a microfiber rag here. First I'll go ahead and give this thing a good polish before we put the legs on, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and that should be good on the bowl. So I think I was gonna wait, but I might as well just so it makes more sense. Let's go ahead and do the same thing to the lid. Okay, I'm gonna let this kind of fog over and pick back up when we're wiping this one down. Alright, we've been sitting for about 5 minutes, so let's go ahead and get this girl polished up. Man, this plum, this plum's really cool. It's almost like, I don't know, like a really deep brown, I guess, but I don't know, this is just it's a really cool color. I'm really happy with the way this thing's turning out, too. Especially for being 20-some years old and being stored outside, you know, on an overhang of a garage for pretty much the entirety of its life, from the guy told me, so. But that's going to be good here, so now let's start putting this kettle back together and see what she looks like. So give me a minute here. Alright, first things first is putting the leg assembly back on. Now again, the handle is right here, so when this thing's turned right side up, you want the wheels to be right here. So wheels are going to go here, the standalone leg's going to go there. So you can see we got this hook too. You want this hook to be sitting in this leg in the down position, that way it doesn't come out. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to put the hook back in the leg, just like so. Then we should be able to put our legs back in. That's good. And that's good. These things should pretty much just sit flush on that kettle when they're in right. And then, if you remember, this is missing that cap there. So what I did do is I went to the hardware store, for some accessories, and I got this. This is little, I don't know, it's like a hole plug. You can kind of, whoops, there we go, kind of see it. It should just sit right in there. Yeah, just like that. And hopefully it'll stay in pretty good. Yeah, I think it will. So now when it sits up on the table, you know, it's not sitting on metal. So let's go ahead and continue to put this grill back together. And again, I did buy new grates for this. So here's a new coal grate. That's gonna go in. Here's a new charcoal grate. Just like that. Perfect. I got lucky because the hardware store I was at, they only had the coal grate for the Weber Jumbo Joe, or sorry, for the Weber Smoky Joe. Actually, this had a little itty bitty coal grate, and luckily they sell the 22-inch kettles there, and they never sell them at this little small town hardware store. So they actually let me buy the coal grate right out of one of their floor model grills for like 16 bucks or something. So let's go ahead and get the handles put back on. And last but not least, get that ash pan back on. Just like that. So let me get this moved under the sun a little bit, and I'll give you just a quick look-see, and we'll call it good on this video. All right, we are back for one more final walkthrough. You can see we got the Weber Double D code, being it's a 2000, all fully restored here in my books. I mean, it's gonna cook again. So a couple hours of work, and this thing is honestly looking, you know, pretty dang good. I mean, there's a couple scratches on the lid. That's because I did drop the lid when I got it home because I'm a ding-a-ling, but you know, restoration turned out pretty cool. So let's just take you in quick. You got brand new insides, you know, got the nice hinged, you know, bought the nice hinge grate for it, just so, you know, I can use my slow ones here on my coal baskets or whatever. Gonna keep the ash sweep. So really the only thing that's new on here is that cap I put on the leg, the coal grate, and the cooking grate. You know, otherwise everything else is, you know, original on this thing. I was gonna buy new handles for it, and I still might, but I'm not sure. I might just keep the old handles. I kind of like the, you know, the older kind of look to it. You know, besides that, I do not have a whole lot more. This is super fun to do, super easy to do. And once was, you know, kind of crappy looking, is now, you know, pretty looking, as, you know, Cousin Eddie would say, looking real nice. So now besides that, I'm going to sign off. Hope you guys and girls found this video helpful and informative. You know, like always, you know, if you did, you know, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, because I'm a guy who likes to, you know, drink Busch Light, buy grills, and smoke meat. So until next time, thanks for watching.